Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope that everyone is safe and healthy. Welcome back to the TOEFL preparation course, and today we are going to discuss written expression skills, and today we are going to focus on skills 27 to 29. Okay, so skills 27 to 29 is about comparatives and also superlatives. I hope that you still remember what comparatives are and what superlatives are. Let's take a look at them. Let's take a look at skills 27, which is form comparative and superlatives correctly. Okay, so to be able to form comparative and superlatives correctly, of course, you have to know how to form it, right? So let's take a look at this. The comparative is formed with either suffix er and then, or the word more and then. Let's take a look at them one by one. Okay, here is first one is the suffix er is used for short adjectives. So if you have short adjectives to form a comparative, you put suffix er at the end of the words. For example, taller, shorter, smaller, bigger. Okay, that's how you form a comparative from short adjectives. Okay, and if you want to make the sentence, then this is an example. Bob is taller than Ron. Okay, so you have the short adjectives plus suffix er, and then okay, Bob is taller than Ron. Okay, that is for short adjectives with suffix er. The second one is more is used for longer adjectives. So if you have longer adjectives, then you use more to form the comparatives. For example, more beautiful, more exciting, more sophisticated. Okay, so if you want to form comparatives for longer adjectives, then you use the word more. And then to compare, this is the example in a sentence. Okay, so Sally is more beautiful than Sharon. Okay, so you compare Sally and Sharon. Okay, and Sally is more beautiful than Sharon. Okay. Alright, after we know how to form comparative, now let's take a look at how to form superlatives correctly. Okay, the superlative is formed with the word the. Okay, so you always have the for superlative. And then either suffix est or the word most. And sometimes in, of, or at that clause. Okay, that is how you form a superlative. Let's take a look at the example, guys. The first one is Bob is the smallest man in the room. See, you compare Bob with the man in the room, right? Bob is the smallest man in the room. Okay. And then Sally is the most beautiful of all the women at the party. Okay, so we have the most followed by adjective, and then this is of all the women at the party. Another example is the spider over there is the largest one that I have ever seen. So this is the one with that clause. Yeah, the largest one, which is refers to the spider that I have ever seen. All right, and then the last example is the fastest runner wins the race. So you can also have a sentence which conveys superlative without any additional no in, of, or that clause. Okay, so this is this one, the fastest runner, using suffix s, est, and then followed by the noun. Yeah? The fastest runner wins the race. Okay, let's take the chart here. So, the form of comparatives and superlatives is this. Comparative is formed with more plus long adjective and then followed by then, blah blah blah, or short adjective plus suffix er followed by then, blah blah blah. And for superlatives, it is started by the word the and then followed by most for long adjective and short adjective plus suffix est, and then followed by maybe in, of, or that clause. Okay, that is for how to form comparative and superlatives. Now let's take a look at the next skill, which is using comparative and superlatives correctly. All right, let's take a look at the next skill, which is skill 28, for using comparative and superlative correctly. Okay, now that you already know how to form superlative and comparative, let's learn how to use it in a sentence. The comparative and superlative have different uses, so you should understand the difference in order to answer correctly the TOEFL test, especially dealing with comparative and superlative. All right, let's take a look at the example here. The first one is the history class is larger than the math class. So here you compare the history class and the math class, which are all classes, right? One is history class and the other one is math class. Okay, so for comparative, you basically compare two equal things. You cannot compare two unequal things for comparative. Okay, so you cannot say, for example, you cannot compare the history class with a city, for example. Yogyakarta city is larger than the history class. No, because they are not equal things. So you compare two equal things for comparative. Okay, and for superlative, now superlative is used when there are more than two items to compare and you want to show the one that is the best. Okay, that is superlative. For example, the history class is the largest class in the school. The history class is the largest class in the school. So in the school, there are many classes and the history class is the one that has more students. So it is the largest one. Okay, so that is how you use comparative and superlative. All right, now let's take a look at the use of irregular er, suffix and suffix structure correctly. Okay, so in a TOEFL test, sometimes you found some irregular comparative structure. Okay, what is irregular comparative structure? Let's take a look at this example. Here we have the harder he tried, the further he fell behind. The older the children are, the more their parents expect from them. The more children you have, the bigger the house you need. The harder you work, the more you accomplish. You see, the harder, the further. The older, the more. The more, the bigger. The harder, the more. The greater and the higher. So these are what is called irregular comparative structure. Okay, so this type of sentence may or may not include a verb. Okay, so you can have this kind of structure without any verb at all. Okay, but basically the structure is now that you know, it will be easier for you to take notes which one is correct and which one is incorrect in a TOEFL test. Okay, so it should be the, and then the comparative, the comparative suffix er or more, and then this one is a structure, and then the again, and then the comparative suffix er or more, and then another structure. But what we have to keep in mind, that you have to remember, is that these should have the same structure. Okay, the same structure. You remember that the example in the previous slides, so you combine the same structure with the comparative. Okay, let's take a look at some examples in a TOEFL test for skills 27 to 29. All right, now let's take a look at the example here. The first one, we have certain types of snakes have been known to survive facts more as a year long. We have more here. Okay, if we know that more is always followed by then what is wrong with the subject? What is wrong with this sentence? Yes, you're right. It should be more than a year long. So the answer is D. Okay, remember that this is the written expression section, so what you need to find is the one that makes the sentence incorrect. Okay, so this one is the answer for this one is D. What about the second one here? The grizzly bear, which can grow up to 8 feet tall, has been called a more dangerous animal of North America. Okay, what is wrong with the sentence? What makes the sentence incorrect? A, B, C, or D? Right, that's great. It should be D, because for superlatives, because this is superlative, right? You compare the grizzly bear with all the dangerous animal of North America. Okay, so this should be the most dangerous animal of North America. So the answer is D. Okay, now let's take a look at some more. Alright, let's take a look at more examples of the TOEFL questions, especially for comparative and superlatives. Alright, let's take a look at the first one here. Protein molecules are the most complex than the molecules of carbohydrate. If we can see here, what makes the sentence incorrect? Okay, if we see here, we compare two equal things, which is protein molecules and molecules of carbohydrates, right? Okay, and we have the most and then, which cannot be together, of course. So because we compare two equal things, then it should be not the most but good, more. So what makes this sentence incorrect is B. Okay, it should be more complex than. Good. Now let's take a look at the other one here. The leek, a member of the lily family, has a milder taste than the onion. Okay, so what this sentence compares? Good. The leek and onion, which is two equal things. So it should be not superlative but comparative. Okay, so we cannot have this one, the superlative one, mildest. This one should be milder. Okay, good. The leek, a member of the lily family, has a milder taste than the onion. All right. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you can learn something from this video. I think that's all for today. I'll meet you again in the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.